What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is the Franklin City Championship. This is day number 3 of the Tennessee Marathon. And we know on the right is Andrew Ramey. We know he's playing the Houndoom Crawdaunt deck, or Lord Plagueis, as they call it, goofing around. And you can see his little Palpatine right there, figure on the left side of his playmat with the Team Fish Knuckles playmat. And on the left, we actually have Noah. We have not featured him yet, but he's made it all the way to the finals. And the last round, he took down the Entei deck with this deck, and that's going to be interesting to see what he is playing. We don't know what he's playing yet. I do see a Crobat, or some kind of purple bat Pokemon at the bottom of his deck, so it looks like it's going to be some kind of Crobat deck versus a Houndoom Crawdaunt deck. Now, we'll see how this works out. Both of Noah's Pokemon, if he does play the Lucario Hawlucha deck, which usually is with the main deck you play this with Psychic Pokemon, and they both have one. They only need one energy to attack, so you can just easily power up Houndooms, not Houndooms. You can easily power up Lucarios. You can attack with Hawlucha. You have multiple things to use to actually, knock out these Pokemon, and that's great. They only need one energy, and you can put pressure on these Houndooms fairly quickly. And we actually saw yesterday in the Madison City Championship Finals, it was Houndoom versus a Lucario Bats deck. So it looks like we're going to have a repeat, but that one was just a draw pass by Zach versus Randall. And we'll see what happens. Both players are setting up, and let's see. All right, roll the coin, and try again. And looks like Tails. I'm not sure who's going first, but we'll find out really quickly when they draw a card for the first turn. And Noah looks like he got a Pokemon down. He gets 6 prize cards, and Andrew looks like he has multiple Pokemon. He's debating which one to put in the active. Maybe he does have multiple. It's hard to tell. And let's see who's going first. All right, and there's the handshake. And it looks like Andrew is going first. He did start with the Corphish, which is kind of bad because that's not who you want to start with. You do have to super scoop him up or retreat him with an energy. There we see an Ultra Ball discarding and maybe a Team Flare Grunt with an Ultra Ball. And this will probably get out a Houndoom EX to start, using Houndoom's attack, Melting Horn, start discarding cards. Well, I know Andrew can't attack turn 1, but there we see a Shebe. So his hand must not be that great if he decides to use the Shaman EX to draw through his deck. And alright, we're going to see Shaman drawn 2 cards. And he does have a Sycamore and a Fire Energy. He could have put a Fire Energy onto the Corphish, and then next turn retreat it into the Houndoom, because you don't really want to promote a Houndoom turn 1 to get smacked in the face by a Hawlucha or Lucario, because then you have to super scoop it up. Here we see a super scoop up, heads. Looks like, I don't know who he's going to pick up. Or was that Tails? Yeah, it was a head, so to pick up the Shebe, put the Fire Energy on the active, and then put down the Shaman, drawn 2 cards. There we see an Ultra Ball. So he can't Ultra Ball to get a Houndoom this turn if he wants to. Let's see if he decides to do that or not. Here we see an Ultra Ball, discarding a Team Flare Grunt, and a Sycamore getting out a Houndoom EX. Now, Houndoom EX does have 170 HP. I'm not sure how the math works out with the Lucario and Hawluchas. I think if Noah does a Lucario for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a Hawlucha could do 100 damage. But there we see Hawlucha coming up to the active spot with the Noah. He does super scoop up, pick up the Shaman. Alright. He has Shaman EX. Oh, maybe not. Strong Energy, Fighting Energy, Strong Energy. He's debating. Okay, so Strong Energy to Hawlucha. The Sycamore, discarding his hand, drawn 7 new cards. He didn't put down the Shaman because he doesn't want to be licensed up in the active spot. We see retreat into the Zubat, and just a pass. And just in case, Andrew does have those Team Flare Grunts, he can't discard that Strong Energy off the Hawlucha. So smart play by Noah, retreating that Hawlucha, knowing what Ramey is playing. So we see Crushing Hammer, Tails, and he does have the Crawdaunt, and he does, he could put the Crawdaunt down to discard the energy off the Hawlucha, but since he retreated it, Andrew can't do that. Hawlucha does have free retreat. And let's see what Ramey does. He could retreat this Corphish into the Houndoom, use that Sycamore, and try to draw into a Melting Horn, or draw into a Fire Energy and start using Melting Horn. But he will have to discard that Crawdaunt, and there we see Crawdaunt being discarded. And he does have another Crushing Hammer. We see a Trick Shovel, discarding the Karina off the top of his opponent's deck. We see a Crushing Hammer. Tails, so he's 0 for 2 on Crushing Hammers right now. That's not good. We see a Bumblebee come down. A Hard Charm going down to Houndoom EX, making it do minus 20. From attacks, and it looks like we see Corphish use his first deck. I don't even know what it is, but it does 10 damage. But there we see Noah using VS Seeker to get that Karina that Ramey just discarded to get a Lucario and a Level Ball, and the Level Ball will get out a Golbat. Alrighty, so that's a cool little trick you can do with Karina. And now he can put down the Golbat. And let's see where that 20 damage goes. If I think Corphish has 60 HP, and if it does have 60, Noah could potentially knock it out. We're going to see a Golbat come down for sure. But let's see where that 20 damage goes. Okay, it's actually going to go into the Houndoom EX. So 20 damage to the Houndoom EX. We have fighting engine going on the Hawlucha. And we'll see a pass on to Ramy's turn. So it looks like Noah's not going to attack until Ramy starts to Melting Horn. No real need to start attacking. And there we see a Birch. And Ramy's right now is 0 for 3 on tails for flipping cards. We see him, well, he did win the coin flip, so that did go his way. But, Crush and Hammer Tails. And Birch giving him tails as well. Alright, so let's see. He's only going to get 4 cards with this Birch instead of 7 if he were to flip heads. And Ramy does have a Super Scoop Up. It looks like heads. Oh, he's 2 for 2 on Super Scoop Up heads. That's a good thing. Now you can go send to the Bumblebee, put a Fire Energy, and this is going to make it where Hawlucha cannot attack it. We see a Shaman drawn up to 6. And he does have a Hand Stammer as well, discarding that Strong Energy off the Hawlucha. Alright, but that's only 1 Strong Energy down. Now, if there was a double Rototiller discarding a Hawlucha and something else, but Noah does have that Lucario fighting energy, so he can knock out this Bumblebee this turn. He can put down the Lucario, attach a fighting energy, and use the first attack Missile Jab for 30, times 2 for weakness 60. And here we see a Birch from Noah. And he really needs to get a Muscle Band down onto this Lucario, because if he doesn't, Ramy could put a Head Ringer on it. And there we see 7 heads, so 7 cards for Noah. Does he get a Muscle Band or some kind of tool? And it looks like he did not. Alrighty, but he does have a Crawdaunt. He can put a Crawdaunt down, put 30 more damage onto that Houndoom EX if he wants to. Let's see if he decides to put it on there or not. He's debating where this 30 goes. It looks like he's going to put on the Shaman EX. Alrighty. And he does have an Ultra Ball as well, but we're just going to see him Missile Jab the Bumblebee for a knockout and go down to 5 prize cards. And on to Ramy's turn, we see another Corphish coming down. He does have a Super Scoop Up. And let's see what he decides to use. A Head Ringer. So there's the Head Ringer going on to Lucario. We see a Super Scoop Up Tails. And this makes it where Noah needs 1 more energy for each of those attacks. So a Missile Jab will need 2 energies instead of 1. Corkscrew Smash will need 3 instead of 2. And Somersault Kick will need 4 instead of 3. We see a Sycamore from Ramy. Discarding his hand, draws 7 new cards. He's looking for a Fire Energy first of all. And then we see a Trick Shovel. Discarding Shaman EX by Shebe. And I'm pretty sure he's looking for a Corphish to discard an energy off the active. There we see another Houndoom come out with a Hard Charm as well. And he does have a Hand Stammer in hand, but there we see Melting Horn, discarding a Crobat, and a VS Seeker. And oh no, he just top decked a Muscle Band. Alright, so that's not good. And we see the Muscle Band going down to the Hawlucha, I was going to say Hawlucha EX, but it's just a Hawlucha. And Noah does have that Strong Energy. The question is, does he attach it to the active or not? And we're going to actually see him retreat into these Hawlucha, put Light Center up to Shaman, and we're going to see a Flying Press do 6, 8, 10, so 100 damage. This will knock out Shaman EX and take 2 prize card. Alright, it's a very eventful turn for Noah. And onto Ramy's turn, he really needs these Crawdaunts to start discarding the energies off these Hawluchas. We see a Verse Seeker for Team Flare, going to discard that fighting energy. But we know, when Noah's down 2 strong and multiple fighting, and there we see a Melting Horn, we see a Zubat, a strong energy, and we'll see a Flying Press for 6, 8, 10, 12, minus 10 to 100, so it's up to 120. And Ramy will need some kind of Super Scoop Up to pick up this Houndoom. If he doesn't, then it will get knocked out by a Hawlucha, regardless of a Strong Energy or not. So let's see what happens this turn. So on to Ramy's turn, he draws a card. He does have an E-Hammer, so he can discard a 3rd Strong Energy. We see a Birch from Ramy and another Tails. Oh no, he keeps getting Tails on these Birches and other flip cards. That's not good. He will need a Super Scoop Up. I know he's burned at least 3, maybe 2. I'm not 100% sure. But he only gets 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see a Fighting Energy. I see a Head Ringer. And then we see a Multicorn discarding Ultra Ball and a Sycamore. And on to Noah's turn. Does he get a Fighting Energy or not to knock out this Houndoom? And if he does, he'll be in a dominated position. He'll only need 1 more prize card. We see another Lucario coming down. He does have an Ultra Ball, discarding Ultra Ball and a Lucario, and let's see what he decides to get. There's a Golbat, put a 20 damage onto that Shaman. Alrighty. And he does have a Sycamore, and let's see. Super Scoop Up, heads. He can pick up this Lucario, discarding the Head Ringer. All right, and let's see. Does he get a fighting energy? And I don't. Okay, there's one. So we will see a flying press, muscle band going down to the other Lucario, and we will see a flying press knocking out this Houndoom. It'll do 6, 8, 10, then minus 20, 80, and it'll be 200 damage. And here comes a Houndoom EX. Alrighty. And on to Ramy's turn, and let's see what happens. He needs to get a Crawdaunt down, discard this fighting energy. He does have a Crushing Hammer. There's a fire energy. Headringer going out to the Lucario. Crushing Hammer. Alright, so there we go. There's the heads finally on a Crushing Hammer, discarding energy, and we see Melting Horn discarding a Focus Sash and a Fighting Stadium. Here we see a Super Rod getting back 3 fighting energies, kind of just, ruined Ramy's plan of decking them out. But he does get 3 fighting energies in there, and he does have a Judge, so Noah could Judge, pick up this Crawdaunt line, and then start sniping this Shaman EX, or go after the Corphish. There's multiple things he can go after. There we see a Zubat, we see a Crobat put 30 on Shaman, bringing it up to 50, and probably just a pass. No, it does have double Golbat in his hand. They receive a Trick Shovel, discarding a Lysander, and that's actually something crucial to discard because Noah could Lysander. Oh, and double Fighting Energy already. And let's see what Noah decides to do. He does have a Fighting Energy. They receive double Golbat, bring up Crobat, and he'll do 20, 40, and he'll bring it up to 90. Then he'll Skill Dive, knocking out Shaman EX. All right, there we go. So double Golbat does 40, bringing the Shaman up to 90, and then he can Skill Dive the Shaman for 30 damage, bring it up to 120, and he only has 110 HP. So on to game number 2, and this is I think it's a bad matchup for the Houndoom Crawdaunt deck, because like I said, both these Pokemon just need 1 energy to attack, and how can Ramy deal with that? He could discard all his energies, but Noah plays the Super Rod, put back 3 energies in his deck, and Noah just played it perfectly. Some people would have left that Hawlucha in the active spot, but in the early games, but Noah realized, I need to retreat this guy. I know there's a Corphish down on the field. If that evolves into Crawdaunt, let's go to discard him energy. And so that was a really good play the very early game, and that's probably what turned it from right there, where Ramy had to discard that early Crawdaunt. But only game number 2, we will see Ramy probably go first. Again, 7 cards setting up, and we see Ramy does have a Bunnelby and a Houndoom. Question is, who does he send up? It looks like to start Bunnelby and Corphish and a Houndoom. Alright, 6 prize cards, and let's see what happens on to game number 2, and Ramy will go first. And Noah did start a Shaman once again. They receive a Trick Shovel, discarding the Fighting Stadium. Now, once Noah gets out of Fighting Stadium, he's good to go. And Ramy just passes. Nothing else, really. They receive Noah discarding Golbat and a Lysander. And he does have a Fighting Energy, a Strong Energy as well. All right. And we see a pass. We see a Xerosic. And we see another pass. So Super Scoop Up. Ed's going to pick up the Shaman. And we'll have another Strong Energy and a Sycamore, discarding a Fighting and a Shaman. Alright, so there's a Zubat, there's a Hawlucha, Love Ball for another Zubat, and, Ramy hasn't really done anything. He's just played as Xerosic and Rototiller. Oh, he didn't even Rototiller. He doesn't have any Fire Energies. So uneventful game for Ramy so far. Double Zubat, Hawlucha, and we see a knockout with this Lucario doing 100 damage. Here we see another Trick Shovel, discarding a Hawlucha, a Houndoom coming down, and just a pass. Oh no. We see 20 damage from the Golbat going down to the active, and we will see a Missile Jab doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bringing it up to 90 damage. And let's see, we see a Super Scoop Up from Ramy, and so he can pick up all this damage off the Houndoom, promote a new Houndoom, put a Hard Charm, and a pass. On to Noah's turn, we see a Fighting Stadium, Crobat down 30, we see a Super Scoop Up. Ed's picking up the Crobat, put a 20 on the active, bring it up to 50, and we'll see a Missile Jab for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it brings up to, 120, I think. But there we see a Crawdaunt coming down, discarding energy. On to Noah's turn, which hasn't played as supported really either. We see Crobat doing 30 to the active, and we see a Sycamore. Can he get a Golbat? And he could knock out this Houndoom, and yeah, we'll see 20 damage going to the Houndoom, taking 2 prize cards, and Noah's running away with this game for sure. We see a Super Scoop Up Tails, we see a Strong Energy, and we'll see a Muscle Band going on to Hawlucha, and we'll see a Missile Jab for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We see a Birch, so there we go. Ramy finally hit something, and oh, he only gets a Tails with this Birch, so he's only going to get 4 cards, and if he doesn't get a Super Scoop Up, this Houndoom will get knocked out. Now, if Ramy draws into Enhanced Hammer, a Crushing Hammer, he could, discard the energy off the active. And here we go, 4 cards. There's a Crushing Hammer and a Fire Energy. Let's see what happens. And oh no, a Tails. So that Houndoom EX is going to get knocked out. Alright, so we see another Zubat coming down. And Noah does have an AZ. He could AZ up this Crobat. Looks like we're going to see a Missile Jab. And we see a Xerosic discarding Strong Energy. Shaman drawing 5 cards. We see a Trick Shot with discarding a VS Seeker. We see a Bumblebee coming down. And a Fire Energy going to Bumblebee. But if Noah has a Lysander Strong Energy, and there it is, he can Lysander up the Bumblebee and win the game. And that was an uneventful game number 2. But there we see Noah taking the Franklin City Championship with his Hawlucha Lucario Crobat deck. This is day number 3. And once again, a Lucario Hawlucha deck wins in the finals versus a Houndoom deck, which is pretty funny. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Congrats to Andrew and Noah for making this far in the tournament, and congrats to Noah for winning. But this will be the last part of the Tennessee Marathon. The next day you see this will be in Kentucky, which is still part of the Tennessee Marathon. It was 3 days in Tennessee and 3 days in Kentucky. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.